I really didn't put two and two together, but I was in Europe, and I developed, suddenly my eyes started swelling up, and my ears were oozing, and my neck was itching and oozing, and I thought, my gosh, what have I gotten into? And so I came home, and I've had skin issues before, eczema. So I got home, I'm trying all kinds of lotions and potions, and people are telling me to go to the doctor. I don't like pharmaceuticals, I don't like the regular medical profession. But I went ahead and started going to doctors. I couldn't get into a dermatologist for 3.5 months. And I said, well, what should I do? And they said, well, go to your GP. So I went to the GP. I had a nurse practitioner, and she immediately recommended prednisone. And I said, I don't want to do pharmaceuticals. And she said, well, you can do this. We'll have you do this, and you'll be done with it in 10 days. Well, it was more than 10 days, and truly things cleared up a little bit. But as soon as the protocol was over, this rash came back with a vengeance. It was all over most of my body and itching like crazy. I couldn't sleep at night. I was oozing and sticking to my sheets and my pillowcase. And, they had recommended pharmaceutical lotions, which I didn't want to put on. A shampoo that you used on your body and left on there 10 minutes. And it wasn't helping. I went to a doctor out of town, a dermatologist out of town, because I couldn't get into the one locally. He recommended, of course, pharmaceuticals, and at this point I'm really suspicious. I did fill the prescription, it's still in the cupboard, unused and unopened. Got into an allergist, and he said, oh, you'll never find out what this is. Both of the allergist and the dermatologist said, you'll never figure this out. You can try, but this is so complicated. Just take these, whatever they were. The allergist found dust mites, probably dust mites, probably molds and allergens. Dust and mold, primarily. And, get all these sheets and pillowcases and, get rid of your carpet and all the things, clean your ducts and get a new furnace, unbelievable stacks of papers with all these things that you need to do that are just outrageous. Got into the home dermatologist finally, and he did a biopsy to see if this itching was cancerous, and it did come back negative. Meanwhile, I was in a health food store, and I found some lotion in a health food store, and I took it to the woman. This is Zanesville, Ohio, and I said, is this going to help? And I showed her. It was middle of winter. This has been since July, and this is like, well, not the middle of winter. It must have been the end of November, and I said, is this going to help this? And she said, no, I wouldn't advise getting it. Now, this is after buying all kinds of health food lotions and comfrey creams and, chickweed and all kinds of health food stuff. Just all over my cupboards. I'm really ashamed to have somebody come and look. But anyway, she said, I'll tell you what probably can help. That I had this situation, and she said, I was going to a doctor in Cincinnati, but now I found somebody closer in Columbus. And she gave me Dr. Siegel's name and his phone number, and I called and I made an appointment. And the first thing, I walked into the office, I said, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, can you, you're my only hope. And he did we had a long consultation. It must have been an hour. And he asked me when was the first time I'd ever had these symptoms. And I got to thinking, it was back when I was 20. And, he asked me more of my history, and I told him all kinds of things about my medical histories and things. Anyway, at the end of the interview, I said, do you think you can help me? And he said, yes, I think I can. If I couldn't help you, I wouldn't waste your time and I wouldn't waste mine. I just felt like I'd hit gold. I mean, I have wanted a holistic practitioner that knew what was going on for years. I knew there was someone out there. I just felt like this gal in the health food store was, it was so serendipitous. It had to be the universe answering my call after all these years. It's now close to a year that I've been working with Dr. Siegel. I still have some of the symptoms, but they are so much improved. And we've gone really deeply. We've talked about, he's come up with, gosh, I think I've probably taken 4 tranquilizer pills in my life. After my mother died, that was the first thing they gave us back in '66. He found traces of that, traces of antibiotics. I haven't taken antibiotics for 40 years. And, those things are still there and they are still affecting my system, along with other things. So I am very, very committed to this treatment. I do care what it costs, but I also don't care what it costs, because I do feel like I'm going to be 72 in less than a month. And, if I'm going to be around here, I want to be around here in a very healthy state. I'm very fortunate. I feel like I can come here and have the closest thing to the kind of healing that I believe in that I've run across. So my gratitudes just for the staff and the doctor and his training, and that he's training other people. So hooray for Dr. Siegel and the medical profession that is taking this tack. Good work.